Welcome to another edition of Back to Basics. This is Paulie Joan from Writer's World, and today we're going to talk about ideas. By the end of this, I want you to take away these three things. An idea is just a seed. Ideas are everywhere, and you need to capture your ideas. Let's begin with searching for ideas. A lot of people have said to me, how do you come up with your ideas? And this is for fiction and non-fiction. The thing is, ideas are everywhere, but I feel like a lot of people put too much pressure on themselves, thinking that the idea needs to come from the internal. But the trick is, your external environment is where the inspiration is to find an idea that you can then develop from the internal or recognize from the internal. Even journaling is a fantastic way to start exploring ideas, because just through journaling and saying what you've been up to, what you've done today, what your thoughts are, you can start seeing in the external experience of yourself things that you can utilize, things that perhaps other people need to know, and start developing ideas from there too. Observe your environment, observe the people around you. Use all of your senses. Look, feel, listen, hear them, smell, touch, whatever. And that becomes the input data, which you then can internalize into a creative idea. What if you still are not seeing the inspirational ideas around you? A great tip is to use the 5 wives and a husband method, which is who, when, where, what, how, why. So for instance, you might see someone, and I've done this with people in the past where we've been sitting at traffic lights, and I've said to them, look at that person over there. What do you know about them? Where are they going? How did they get there? And to start using those questions to ask yourself to make up a story about that person. Now, you're not trying to get it right, because you can't. You don't know them. You can't get it right. And that's okay. That's not what this is about. This is about exploring the possibilities. And that word right there is the key word when it comes to coming up with ideas and creativity. Possibilities. You've got to lose the right or wrong thought process and open yourself to possibilities. So another great way to come up with ideas is to ask yourself, what if? Change a circumstance. And this is great in life in general. So for instance, what if instead of having coffee first thing, I had water? And then you can look at the differences that would make. What if I could break this process of writing down into 7 steps? And that's how I created the scrolls methodology that we use in the Right Now program. What if human awareness relied on science? And that's how I created the Human Concept book. What if it wasn't all about hustling and it was about actually doing the opposite? And that's how I wrote the book called Unhustle. I hope you can see where I'm going with this. Now, when it comes to fiction, that opens it up to a whole new level. What if this person was an alien? What if that house was a multi-dimensional portal? It could be anything, and that's the beauty of ideas. And I trust that you can see that every idea that I just gave you, every idea I just shared, started with an observation of the external. Ideas really are everywhere if you open yourself to allowing them to come through, even the stupid ones. So I've just finished writing a 15,000 word book, which literally came from a line that I wrote ages ago, which was simply zombies in space. It's ridiculous, but I created an entire book and an entire world, because there'll be quite a few books in that series with little spin-offs, etc., from that one line, as stupid as it was. So that's the other thing. Take note of the ideas that come up, even the stupid ones, and record them, save them. So I have an entire spreadsheet filled with ideas, And the one that I just mentioned, Zombies in Space, came from that. So I wanted to write a book. I decided, you know what, I want to do something that's, YA, maybe something a little different. The first thing I did was go to my ideas list, and I went through that. And I came across this one, and I don't remember writing it, to be honest, that said Zombies in Space. And I explored that. So ideas can come from the smallest seed, and in fact, they are the smallest seed. An idea is not the final work. In fact, in my book, there's a zombie and they're in space, but it's not about a zombie in space. That's not the focus of the book. It was just an idea. It was just a seed. So with non-fiction, same thing as I went through before. I had the seed of, I'm sick of hustle. What if it's the opposite and it's about unhustle? I then did my research to back that up, and I wrote my book based on that. So capture those ideas that come up. Start noticing the ideas that you're having, because I guarantee you, you're already having hundreds of ideas every day. You're just not noticing them. Start paying attention to the conversations, not only the ones that you're in, but the ones that you hear. Start paying attention to what you see even on TV. The number of ideas that I have from TV where I'm like, what if this happened instead? Or, I can see what they're doing there, but I actually think this way. All of those little things can be ideas, and they are seeds that you can plant and then grow into something much larger. So this is what I really want you to take away from this conversation today. An idea is just a seed. It is a speck. It is the first step. It is not the final product. So don't be attached to the outcome of the idea and think that if I come up with this idea, it must be whole and complete. That's not going to happen. It doesn't happen. Sometimes an idea will drop into your head that is really, really fleshed out, and that's great. If you're waiting for that to happen, you're one of the people that need to watch this the most, because you're one of the people that are saying you can't come up with ideas because you think that it needs to be whole and complete. So let that go. Know that ideas are everywhere. Listen to conversations and use the thought processes of who, when, where, what, how, why to start exploring. Like, why is that person saying that? What has happened for that person to think that way? What if this was the case? And throw out the stupid random stuff and be okay with it. So number one thing to take away is that ideas are seeds. Number two thing to take away is that ideas are everywhere, possibilities are everywhere. You're just perhaps not noticing them. So start noticing the ideas. And the third thing I want you to take away from this today is to capture your ideas. Create a spreadsheet, have a book, whatever it may be, whatever you need, but start capturing ideas. And I would recommend aim for capturing at least 3 ideas a day, just to start proving to yourself that ideas are everywhere and you can have them. Embrace those 3 things and you'll never be stuck for an idea again. That's it for today. Thank you for joining me. This has been Paulie Joan of Writer's World. And remember, until next time, plan to pants. Plan to pants.